My child. The voice note was never meant to be heard. It was hidden where no one was supposed to find it. For years, its existence remained a secret. But the moment it was played, everything changed. Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not just a story about your soulmate. It is a story about a dream they carried silently for years, a dream so personal that they never shared it with friends, never spoke about it in public, and never even admitted it to their own family. Yet somehow, through a forgotten private voice note, the truth finally came to light. The discovery happened on an ordinary day. Nothing unusual was expected. No one was searching for secrets. No one was trying to uncover hidden emotions. But sometimes destiny chooses the most ordinary moments to reveal the most extraordinary truths. Someone was organizing old files stored inside an account that had not been opened for years. There were photographs, forgotten recordings, random documents, and memories that seemed completely unimportant. Then suddenly a single audio file appeared. The title was simple. No dramatic words. No explanation. Just a date. Curiosity took over. The file was opened. And the moment the recording began, silence filled the room. Because the voice speaking inside that recording belonged to your soulmate. Don't skip. At first, their voice sounded uncertain, almost nervous. It was the kind of voice people use when they are speaking honestly, with no audience and no intention of being judged. There was no performance. No attempt to sound impressive. Just pure truth. For a few seconds they said nothing. Only breathing could be heard. Then they finally spoke. I don't know why I'm recording this. The sentence sounded simple. Yet somehow it carried years of emotion. I guess I just need somewhere to put these thoughts. A pause followed. And then came the words that nobody expected. Maybe one day I'll meet the person I've been waiting for. The listener immediately became curious. Who was this person? Who were they talking about? What thoughts had remained hidden for so long? The answers arrived slowly. Your soulmate continued speaking. They talked about loneliness. Not the loneliness of being physically alone, but the loneliness of feeling incomplete. The loneliness of knowing that someone important existed somewhere in the world but had not yet entered their life. And then something incredible happened. They started describing a future. A future that included you. Even though they had never met you yet. Even though they did not know your name. Even though they had no idea where you were. Somehow they were already dreaming about the life they wanted to build with you. Don't skip. The recording became more emotional with every minute. I don't care how long it takes. Their voice sounded stronger. I don't care how difficult the journey becomes. Another pause. I just hope that when I finally find them, they feel like home. Those words stayed in the room long after they were spoken. Home. Not a house. Not a city. Not a place. A person. That was what your soulmate wanted most. A person who felt like home. Then they began describing their dream family. Not in a dramatic way. Not like someone describing a fantasy. But like someone describing something they genuinely believed would happen. They talked about waking up early in the morning and hearing laughter in another room. They talked about sharing breakfast with someone they loved. They talked about small traditions. Weekend walks. Movie nights. Birthday surprises. Ordinary moments. Because to them, ordinary moments were never ordinary. They were the real definition of happiness. And as the voice note continued, it became obvious that every detail mattered deeply to them. They imagined sitting beside you after a difficult day, not needing to say much, just being together, just knowing that no matter how hard life became, neither of you would face it alone. Don't skip. Then came a part of the recording that shocked everyone who heard it. Your soulmate started talking directly to the future version of you, as if they somehow believed you would hear the message one day. If you're out there. A long pause followed. I hope you're okay. The sincerity in their voice was impossible to ignore. I hope life hasn't been too hard on you. Another pause. I hope nobody has convinced you that you aren't worthy of real love. Silence. Then they laughed softly. I know that sounds strange. But it didn't sound strange. It sounded honest. For years your soulmate had carried thoughts they never shared. And now every hidden feeling was finally being heard. The recording continued. I wonder what you're doing right now. The question felt simple. Yet it revealed how often they thought about you. A person they had never met. A person they couldn't identify. A person who existed only in dreams. And still they cared. Still they wondered. Still they hoped. Then they described the children they wanted one day. Not with specific names. Not with impossible expectations. Just with love. Pure love. They imagined teaching them kindness. Teaching them courage. Teaching them compassion. Teaching them how to believe in themselves even when the world tried to convince them otherwise. And every time they described those future children, they mentioned one thing repeatedly. You. Because in every version of their future, you were there. Standing beside them. Building that life together. Sharing every challenge. Sharing every victory. Sharing every memory. Don't skip. As the recording reached deeper emotional territory, your soulmate revealed something they had never told anyone. A fear. A fear that followed them for years. What if I never find them? The question hung in the air. The confidence disappeared for a moment. The dream suddenly seemed fragile. What if we spend our whole lives searching and somehow miss each other? Their voice cracked slightly. And for the first time, vulnerability became impossible to hide. The listener realized something important. Your soulmate wasn't dreaming because life was easy. They were dreaming because hope was necessary. Hope was the thing that kept them moving forward. Hope was the thing that helped them survive difficult days. Hope was the thing that convinced them not to give up. And at the center of that hope was you. A person they had never met. Yet somehow already loved. Not because they knew your face. Not because they knew your name. But because they believed destiny would eventually bring your paths together. The recording continued for much longer. Story after story. Dream after dream. Wish after wish. And every single one pointed toward the same future. A future where two lives finally became one. A future where uncertainty disappeared. A future where love replaced every fear. A future where the family they imagined finally became real. The most emotional moment arrived near the end. The voice note grew quieter. The confidence returned. And your soulmate spoke words that nobody expected. If we ever meet. A pause. I promise I'll never take you for granted. Silence. I promise I'll remember how lucky I am. Another pause. And I promise our family will always know they are loved. The sincerity was overwhelming. No performance. No audience. No reason to pretend. Just truth. Raw truth. The kind of truth people only reveal when they believe nobody is listening. Yet now someone was listening. And through that forgotten recording, a hidden chapter of their heart had finally been revealed. The final seconds of the voice note were almost whisper-like. Their voice became soft, hopeful, certain, as impossible as it sounds. They paused one last time. I think we're going to find each other. And then the recording ended. The room remained silent. Nobody spoke. Because everyone understood they had just heard something extraordinary. Not a prediction. Not a fantasy. Not an accident. But a glimpse into the deepest dreams your soulmate had carried for years. Dreams that always included you. Dreams that always led back to you. Dreams that never disappeared no matter how much time passed. And somewhere beyond distance, beyond uncertainty, beyond every obstacle life could create, those dreams continued waiting for the moment they would finally become reality. Don't skip. Days passed after the discovery of the voice note, yet nobody could stop thinking about it. The words continued echoing in their minds. Every sentence seemed to carry more meaning each time it was remembered. It was as if the recording had revealed only a small piece of a much larger story, and deep inside everyone knew there was still something waiting to be uncovered. The account where the recording had been found contained hundreds of forgotten files. Most of them appeared ordinary at first glance. Old photographs. Random notes. Unfinished recordings. Yet after hearing the first voice note, ordinary no longer felt ordinary. Every file suddenly seemed important. Every memory seemed connected. Every hidden corner felt like it might contain another piece of the puzzle. Then something unexpected happened. Another recording was discovered. Its date was months after the first one. The title was different this time. Only 2 words appeared. Future family. The moment those words were seen, curiosity became impossible to ignore. The recording was opened immediately. And once again, the familiar voice of your soulmate filled the room. This time they sounded calmer. Stronger. More certain. Almost as if the dreams they had spoken about before had grown even clearer. For several seconds they remained silent. Then they laughed softly. I know this probably sounds crazy. The sentence felt familiar. As though they had spoken those same words many times while wrestling with emotions they could not fully explain. But then they continued. I keep imagining our future. A pause followed. And then came another sentence that nobody expected. Not because I'm lonely anymore. Silence. But because it feels real. Don't skip. The listener leaned closer. Every word mattered now. Every sentence seemed capable of revealing something extraordinary. Your soulmate spoke slowly, carefully, as though they were describing something precious. I don't know their face. A pause. I don't know their voice. Another pause. I don't know where they are. Then their tone softened. But somehow I know they're real. The certainty in those words was impossible to miss. This wasn't wishful thinking. This wasn't fantasy. This was belief. The kind of belief that survives years of uncertainty. The kind of belief that refuses to disappear no matter how much life changes. Then they began describing another dream. A dream so vivid that it felt almost like a memory. I keep seeing the same scene. Silence. We're sitting together. A pause. The house is quiet. Another pause. And everything feels peaceful. Their voice became emotional. Not dramatic. Not theatrical. Just genuine. The kind of emotion that appears when someone speaks about something they truly desire. Then they described details nobody expected. A kitchen filled with laughter. Pictures hanging on walls. Small notes left on a table. Children running through hallways. A family dog sleeping near the window. Rain falling outside. Warm lights inside. Simple moments. Yet every detail felt important. Because every detail included you. Don't skip. Then the recording took an unexpected turn. Your soulmate stopped talking about the future. Instead, they began talking about fear. Not fear of failure. Not fear of rejection. A deeper fear. The fear of becoming someone unrecognizable before meeting you. What if life changes me too much? The question sounded painfully honest. What if all the difficult experiences make me colder? Another pause. What if I stop believing? The room became silent. For a moment it felt as though years of hidden emotions were finally being spoken aloud. Your soulmate had dreams. But they also had doubts. They had hope. But they also had fears. And that combination made every word feel real. Because real love stories are never built on confidence alone. They are built on perseverance. On choosing hope even when uncertainty feels overwhelming. Then your soulmate said something that nobody could forget. If you're hearing this somehow. A pause. I hope you never stop believing either. Silence. The sentence seemed directed toward you. Not toward an audience. Not toward strangers. Toward you. The person they still hadn't met. The person they still couldn't identify. The person who somehow remained at the center of every dream they carried. Don't skip. Minutes passed. The recording continued. And then came a revelation nobody expected. Your soulmate admitted they had been keeping a private journal. A journal nobody knew existed. Inside it they wrote letters. Letters addressed to you. Letters they never intended anyone else to read. Letters filled with thoughts they couldn't share with anyone around them. The listener immediately wondered what those letters contained. Fortunately, your soulmate began reading one of them aloud. The sound of paper moving could be heard. Then they started reading. To the person I'll love one day. Their voice trembled slightly. I don't know if we'll meet next year. A pause. Or 5 years from now. Another pause. Or even longer. Silence. But I hope you'll understand something. Their voice became stronger. I've been saving a place for you in my heart long before I knew your name. The words seemed to stop time itself. A place reserved. A space protected. A future imagined. All for someone they had never met. Don't skip. As the recording continued, more secrets emerged. Your soulmate revealed they often wondered about the little things. Would you love morning conversations? Would you enjoy long drives? Would you laugh at bad jokes? Would you sing when nobody was listening? Would you steal blankets at night? The questions sounded almost playful. Yet beneath them was something deeper. Affection. The kind of affection that grows from imagining a shared life. Then they laughed again. A genuine laugh this time. I hope they don't mind how much I talk. Another pause. And I hope they know I'll always listen. The listener smiled. Because suddenly the mysterious soulmate no longer felt mysterious. They felt human. Real. Someone carrying hopes and imperfections just like everyone else. Someone trying to navigate life while believing destiny still had plans waiting ahead. Then the recording reached its most emotional section. The atmosphere changed instantly. Your soulmate grew quiet. Almost reflective. And then they described a moment that had never happened. Yet somehow felt inevitable. The day we finally meet. A long pause. The silence itself carried emotion. I don't think it'll be dramatic. They laughed softly. I don't think music will start playing. Another pause. I don't think the world will stop. Then their voice lowered. But I think something inside me will know. Silence. I think I'll recognize the feeling. Another pause. The feeling that the search is over. Don't skip. Those words lingered in the air. The search is over. Such a simple sentence. Yet it carried years of longing. Years of uncertainty. Years of hope. Then they continued describing what would happen afterward. Not grand gestures. Not impossible fairy tales. Simple moments. Growing together. Learning together. Supporting each other. Building a life brick by brick. Creating memories one day at a time. Because your soulmate didn't dream about perfection. They dreamed about partnership. About having someone beside them through every season of life. And that dream never changed. The recording moved toward its conclusion. But before it ended, your soulmate revealed one final secret. A secret they had never shared with anyone. For years they had been collecting small items connected to their future dreams. Photographs, quotes, letters, ideas for family traditions, places they hoped to visit someday, memories they wanted to create. Nobody knew these things existed. Nobody knew how much thought had been invested in a future that had not yet arrived. Yet there they were, hidden away, protected, waiting, almost like evidence of a promise they had made to themselves. A promise not to stop believing. Don't skip. The final moments of the recording felt different. There was peace in their voice now. A calm certainty that hadn't existed before. Perhaps years of dreaming had transformed into trust. Perhaps they had simply reached a point where hope no longer felt fragile. Whatever the reason, their final words sounded stronger than ever. I don't know when we'll meet. A pause. I don't know how. Another pause. I don't know what path will lead us there. Silence. But I know one thing. Their voice became firm. The kind of firmness that comes from conviction. The kind of certainty that survives every setback. I'll be ready. Another pause. I'll be ready to build that family. Silence. I'll be ready to create those memories. Another pause. I'll be ready to choose them every single day. The listener felt chills. Because those words weren't spoken casually. They were spoken like a vow. A promise made long before the journey was complete. A promise made long before names were exchanged. A promise made long before destinies finally crossed. Then came the final sentence. The sentence that nobody forgot. If fate is already writing our story. A pause. I hope it knows how excited I am to read the next chapter. And with that, the recording ended. But the mystery did not. Because hidden among the remaining files was evidence that another recording still existed. One final recording. A recording created years later. A recording containing a confession so shocking, so emotional, and so deeply connected to you that it would leave everyone speechless the moment it was finally heard.